Hi everyone, thank you for checking out my review for Ben-Hur and my bedhead. Ben-Hur coming to you on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray on Tuesday, February 17th, which a couple days from now, if you're watching right away, this classic has finally been released in year 10 of 4K Ultra HD. This used to be one that I feel like within the first 5 years, you'd have got some big special edition from. There's also a steelbook edition of it available, should you choose that. The one sent to me for review from Warner Brothers is the standard version. This is a 3-disc set. It has one disc for the 4K for the movie up to the intermission. Has a second 4K disc for the movie post intermission, and then a Blu-ray separate that has all of the bonus features except for the commentary and isolated score. We'll talk about bonus later. Ben-Hur, 1959 Best Picture winner, won a lot of Academy Awards. This is one of the grand religious epics of the time, though I think this is like fairly, if you're not a religious person, I don't think it's a very in-your-face with religious stuff. There's Ben-Hur comes upon Jesus Christ in a couple instances in the film, and it's more of something of mythology and legend than it is like, oh, you need to be religious and all that. No. It's a grand tale of a Christ-like figure in his own, being a man put to being in rebellion, put to slavery, overcoming, rising above, all that stuff against the Roman Empire. It's a lot of movie. This is almost 4 hours, which people, if you watch Avengers Endgame, you can watch, I don't care. They're still both very long movies that you can't just pop a squat and check out for a bit. So you got to be really into the Ben-Hur thing if you're going for it. It is dramatic. It's very big. This is spectacle. This is the blockbuster before, that term was used with Jaws. These are the big religious epics and sweeping musicals that were the big thing. I will say, this movie it's fine. It's not bad. It's good acting, fun stuff. Fun thing on here. There's a couple people that could have been in parts that we'll get to in the bonus features that I think is fun. The movie does have some nice action sequence. There's a ship sequence that is pretty good in the first half of the movie, but the grand spectacle is the chariots race, and this thing, I don't care who you are, this is one of the best action sequences in the history of film. Like, it still holds up today, and this is real people putting themselves on the line for filmmaking. Like, this thing is shot and cut, and the stunts are out of this world. It still holds up. It is not phony in the slightest. It is a joy to watch. That is like this. I don't think the movie itself is 5 stars, but that action sequence itself just is amazing. And it's like, looks like, Heston doing all this stuff. It's nuts. Of course, you can't talk about it without throwing in that, hey, this is where the pod race came from in Star Wars. That's what we want, this is what happened. And you can see it, and you can appreciate what Lucas is doing more if you've never seen Ben-Hur before. But that was the obvious thing, and that's what they were telling us during the release of Phantom Menace, was he was making a Ben-Hur in space action sequence. So it's no, hey, did you know? It's not like that at all, but it is nice to reference. But I will say, though, there's a lot of Ben-Hur stuff in here, revisiting it. I hadn't seen this movie in forever. There's a lot of stuff that reminded me of Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith as well. So Ben-Hur's on the mind for the prequels of George Lucas and all that. But this is a tremendous scene, and when we get in the video and audio, and we'll talk about but it's worth picking up for just the action sequences alone. I give the film a 4 out of 5. It's Ben-Hur, William Wyler's classic. All right, let's go to the video for the film. This is got the encoding of HEVC H.265 for its compression. This is at the grand scope of 276:1 for its aspect ratio. The resolution is 2160p 4K image. This is February, but we have an early contender for the best looking 4K disc of the year. This thing looks tremendous. The feel of it, the scope translates quite well, feels big. But man, this looks cinematic. I don't know if even when you saw it in theaters, this looked that good. I mean, it is crystal clear. You can see the skins. There's a nice layer of grain on here. It is crisp, and some of these big movies, I don't think they take the time in the restoration and the transfer that may be needed, and they don't always look the greatest. This looks great. And also, shooting these movies, people don't necessarily know how to shoot. Just because you can fit things in frame, blah, blah, blah. This is a masterclass of why the wider picture, why the wider frame. Like, it looks so good. There's so much going on. There's so much detail. There's good balance on the screen. The things are framed and blocked correctly. Like, it is just, it's awesome. This is why when I'm like, okay, maybe you should use 185.1 for this or something, like, or you don't know how to use the full thing. This one does. It's great. Good color, good contrast here. The black levels are awesome. Details so strong. You got to check it out. Ben-Hur is a 5 out of 5 for the video. We have a lot of audio tracks here. So we have English Dolby Atmos, English 5.1 DTS HDMA, French 5.1 Dolby Digital, German 5.1 Dolby Digital, Italian 5.1 Dolby Digital, Spanish, Castilian Spanish 5.1 Dolby Digital, and Latin America Spanish at 2.0 Dolby Digital. The subtitles, we have English SDH French, German SDH, Italian SDH, Castilian Spanish, Dutch, Korean, Spanish from Latin America, Danish, Finnish, Norwegian, and Swedish. So what they've brought to the table here is a new Atmos track, and it rocks, it's loud, it's boisterous. That score just really sings in here, and captivates and goes right around the room. The best way to check out what they did with this is going straight to the chariot race, and it's just loud. The clopping hits on your subwoofer really good. You can hear things spinning around. You got crowd and stuff cheering from above. It's awesome. Vocals are clear and crisp. There's no real sound of like dated source material here. This is pretty good. Well done. One ding against this: the original track, audio track's just not available. They only have the previous English 5.1. But I imagine there's like a mono track or something from when this first came out. But this rocks. This is loud. Of course, the theater. Just, yeah, I don't know what to say. It's a 4.5 out of 5 for the audio. Now, the extras is where we're going to get into some sticky stuff here. So there's a lot of extras, but just like all the President's Men, there's a problem. We have a commentary with film historian T. Gene Hatcher and Charlton Heston. We have the isolated score track, which is music only. We have Ben-Hur, Anatomy of an Epic, which is 6 minutes and 47 seconds. This is a new one. This is people talking, just reflecting on Ben-Hur, people like a film historian. You have part of the Restoration Academy people. You have a director of photography here. You have just appreciating it. Then you have the cinematography of Scale, which is 8 minutes 23 seconds. Same people talking about the look, the bigger film, where cinematography was at the time, competition, television, how to make it bigger. Nice little featurette. You have Charlton Heston and Ben-Hur, A Personal Journey, which is 1 hour and 18 minutes 4 seconds. This is a carryover. Ben-Hur, The Making of an Epic, 58 minutes 14 seconds. That is a carryover. Ben-Hur, A Journey Through the Pictures. That's 5 minutes 8 seconds. That's a carryover. And then we have Screen Tests, which is about a half hour of George Baker and William Russell. Doctor Who's William Russell. Leslie Nielsen, yes, that Leslie Nielsen. And Cesar Donova. And then Leslie Nielsen and Yale Wexler. And then we have a hair and makeup test. Okay. Whoa, that's a lot of extras, a lot of lengthy extras. However, previous editions of this had a lot more extras. There's another whole almost like hour feature that's gone from here. They provided previously the silent version, like a whole nother movie. It was an SD, but whole silent version of the movie. They had like a bunch of they had a newsreel thing on it. There was a lot of There's trailer stuff. There's a lot more there's marketing materials. There's a lot more going on. So, fortunately, Ben-Hur, like the All the President's Men coming out the same day, took some extras away that I think were significant and should have been there. And they put some new stuff there. That's props, but you can't take away the old stuff, especially with as meaty as it was. These featurettes, But anyway, we're gonna give it a 4 out of 5. Still a lot of good stuff, but significant chunk out of there. All right, let's go back. The film I gave a 4 out of 5. Video 5 out of 5. Audio 4.5 out of 5. Bonus 4 out of 5. And overall, I'm gonna bump this up just a hair to 4.5 out of 5 because the presentation is so strong in this movie. It's pretty awesome. If you're a surround sound enthusiast, boom, there you go. If you're the original audio and purist, but I implore you, enjoy the Atmos track. But yeah, loads of extras. This is a good release, despite missing some old bonus features that maybe if you own this, you have to hold on to an old disc. However, I've never owned Ben-Hur before. So this is pretty awesome. It's available February 17th. If you want to order yourself a copy, order, use the link in the description. As always, I appreciate you watching and stay film positive.